Good morning, everyone. This morning we're continuing with Merging with Śiva, Chapter 16, entitled I'm All Right Now, drawn from the 1972 Master Course. Lesson 110, Realization is the Key. The mystic lives within himself and deals positively with the events and forces outside himself. He is always consciously striving to realize that limitless reality within him. That is his practice. Yet he welcomes the challenges of the world, not as a karma forced upon him against his will, but as his own self-created dharma. If he is really a mystic, he doesn't run away from these challenges. He inwardly knows that life's daily difficulties bring forth his inner strength in response to them. He sees the underlying purpose of life. He accepts and doesn't reject. Searches for understanding, for the lesson that lies behind each experience, instead of resenting the experience, which then creates another subconscious barrier for him. He knows that most problems are with man and the way he looks at things. Very profound. So my comment is a simple one. All experiences are good experiences if we learn the lesson from it. So that's the basic point, is we need to learn the lesson from it, otherwise it keeps repeating. So back to the text. So the mystic doesn't need to retreat from the world. The same process continues regardless of where he goes. He can be as peaceful or as disturbed in New York City as in a secluded Himalayan valley. It all depends on what goes on within him. Nor should he be emotionally concerned with the problems of the world in which he finds himself. A concert sitarist is doing himself and his fellow man no good by saying, "How can I play so beautifully when everyone else plays so poorly?" Similarly, the mystic cannot take the attitude, "How can I be peaceful and content when the world is in such a mess?" We need beautiful music and we need beautiful, peaceful beings. Actually, the mystic sees the world as a conglomerate of adjusting forces, and through this perspective, he is not emotionally involved in these forces. The world is a mirror of ourselves and is perfectly all right to the man who is content within himself. But you have to find this out for yourself, because unless you experience it, nothing I say will convince you that everything you have been through and are going through is wonderful and a fulfillment of the great pattern of your life. Even a great soul faces difficulties, but he does not take them personally. Generally, people take problems too personally by identifying closely with them. When they experience anger, they are angry. When they experience bliss, they are blissful. The mystic identifies with the experiencer instead of the experience. He sees himself as pure awareness that travels in the mind. When he is in San Francisco, he is not San Francisco. Similarly, when he is in anger, he is not anger. He says to himself, "I am pure energy. I am the spiritual energy that floods through mind and body. I am not the body, the mind, or the emotions. I am not the thoughts I think or the experiences I experience." Thus he molds a new identity of himself as a free being who can travel anywhere in the mind. Such a person is always at the top of the mountain. We have to examine this concept of who we are. When we begin to totally feel all right about ourselves, the meaning of the word I begins to change. It's a very interesting idea. Read that one again. When we begin to totally feel all right about ourselves, the meaning of the word I begins to change. I no longer means the body of us. I means energy, awareness, and willpower. Soon we gain the total truth that we are living in the body but are not the body we live in. Examine the word I and honestly see what it means to you. Does it mean the physical body? Does it mean the emotions? Does it mean the intellect? Or does it mean the spiritual energy? Lesson 111, Abiding in the Eternal Now. When we forget who we really are, we live in a consciousness of time and space, and we relate to the future, to the external us, to the past, and to our subconscious internal us. This can be rather confusing. Most people are therefore confused and seek to distract themselves in an effort to find peace. A conscious awareness of now only comes when we remember who we really are. This doesn't mean we cannot plan for the future or benefit ourselves by reviewing experiences of the past. It simply means that we always remember that we are the essence of all energy, the source. Return to the source. Merge with Shiva. At the source there is always peace. The key to this entire practice is to become consciously aware of energy. In this constant remembering, we have the feeling of being the center of the universe, with the whole world functioning around us. To be fully anchored in the knowledge of the source of our being, the eternal now can and must be a constant experience. It is easy to live in the now if you work with yourself a little every day and concentrate on what you are doing each moment. To begin to work toward establishing yourself in the eternal now, first limit time and space by not thinking about or discussing events that happened more than 4 days past or will happen more than 4 days in the future. This keeps awareness reined in, focused. Be aware, ask yourself, am I fully aware of myself and what I am doing right now? Once you have gained a little control of awareness in this way, just try to sit quietly each day and just be. Don't think, don't plan, don't remember. Just sit and be in the now. Sounds simple, right? All we have to do is not think. Gurudeva continues, that's not as simple as it sounds, for we are accustomed to novelty and constant activity in the mind and not to the simplicity of being. Just sit and be the energy in your spine and head. Feel the simplicity of this energy in every atom of yourself. Think energy. Don't think body. Don't think about yesterday or tomorrow. They don't exist except in your ability to reconstruct the yesterdays and to create the tomorrows. Now is the only time. This simple exercise of sitting and being is a wonderful way to wash away the past, but it requires a little discipline. You have to discipline every fiber of your nerve system, work with yourself to keep the power of awareness expanded. Regular practice of meditation will bring you intensely into the eternity of the moment. Practice supersedes philosophy, advice, psychology, and all pacifiers of the intellect. We have to practice to keep awareness here and now. If you find yourself disturbed, sit down and consciously quiet the forces in yourself. Don't get up until you have completely quieted your mind and emotions through regulating the breath, through looking out at a peaceful landscape, through seeking and finding understanding of the situation. This is the real work of meditation that is not written much about in books. If you can live in the eternity of now, your life will be one of peace and fulfillment. Visualize yourself sitting on top of a mountain. There is no place to go except inside yourself. If you were to go down the northern side of the mountain, you would be going into the future and its ramifications, which are only conceptual. If you were to go down the southern side, you would be going into the past and its similar recorded ramifications. So you stay where you are at the pinnacle of consciousness, well balanced between past and future. Everything is in its rightful place in the master plan of evolution. So you sit, just watching, sensing the clarity of your own perfect being, learning to live in spiritual consciousness every day. That is your heritage on this earth. And my comment is, one way I describe not thinking excessively about past and future is the idea that each time we do think about past and future, it should produce a benefit. Something positive should come out of thinking about the past or the future. If we find it has not produced any benefit, but was just our mind rambling, that is the type of thought we want to eliminate. And we get the last lesson for today, lesson 112, anticipated reactions. Last night we drove past Lake Tahoe and the lake was calm. That calmness is what you see within your mind when your problems are solved within yourself. If you were to look down in the bottom of the lake, you would see old tree trunks, tin cans, garbage, and other things, which can be compared to unsolved problems. When the bottom of the lake is sandy, that is like the lake of your consciousness after all your problems are solved. As you know, there are three types of people. The ignorant man laughs and makes fun of things he does not understand. The intellectual man smiles condescendingly and criticizes, using others' opinions he has read or heard in the past. The wise man will look at what he understands, try to understand it further, and later explain it so others can understand it. As you evolve spiritually, you go through these various states of unfoldment. You never know what state of consciousness you will come into next, since you have never evolved spiritually before. In schooling yourself to live in the eternal now, you overcome anticipated reactions of the subconscious mind, the mind of feeling and habit patterns. Many people have two conflicting approaches to the same problem. One, a state of understanding, and the other born of habits of the past. Clear that situation so that when it comes up, you will not have an anticipated reaction. You will cancel it ahead of time. Remain quiet and do not allow your emotional mind to talk to you. You are lost, if it does, from reactionary habit patterns of the past, if you listen. As you pray each day, learn to concentrate, meditate, and demonstrate your will over your mind. Demonstrate to yourself and everybody else will see the result. Subdue ancient habit patterns latent in the subconscious mind. Then you will react not from anticipated reaction, but from an action born of your intuitive nature. That is how to accomplish understanding. Let us watch an anticipated reaction. An example of how we think we are going to react. I am going to be tired tonight, we say, for instance, after a hard day's work. You are anticipating a reaction. What are you doing? You are setting up a vibration to be tired when you get home. Instead, you can forget about being tired and jump into a very interesting situation without getting tired by living in the inspiration of the moment. Remember one thing, we have to get our joy out of the doing, not the result. That's a really important point. We have to get our joy out of the doing, not the result. That is the difference between Oriental and the Occidental. The Oriental receives his joy in the doing, not the result. The American rushes through the doing, thinking he will get his joy from the result. So, is in a state of tension all the time. Life is a constant state of joy and doing. We will have mixed results if we look to the joy in results. And our subconscious mind will be frustrated. Receive joy in everything you do. You have a greater understanding to apply to your life today. In application, you set up new habit patterns, the clear, calm sort, which will allow you to look in the lake and see the sandy bottom. Don't look for your reactions experienced in the past, and life will hold continuous, joyous surprises. You will hold yourself in sufficient control so that you can concentrate, meditate, and contemplate. The study of yoga is a full-time job, started on Monday and carried out 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, to see results. If you are not peaceful, you are still reacting to past habit patterns. If you don't feel peaceful, pretend that you do. Feel peace. Feel everybody feeling that same calmness right now. Feelings rub off on other people. If you can demonstrate a constant, consistent peace, get acquainted with peace, the chemical ingredients carried with you all day long, and make others feel peaceful. You will be doing something very fine for world peace, because the world starts with you. The little that you do is important, and it will ramify and expand your consciousness and the consciousness of everybody around you. Try it and see. Hold the consciousness of peace within you. The instinctive nature of man does not want to do that. Conquer that, and that promotes peace in itself. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day.